Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hope you're doing well. So, others have been talking about one particular YouTuber who I really like is called Heavy Duty Country. And he talked about in one of his videos that public executions would help to deter some of these really deranged individuals. And I happen to agree with that heavily. I've spoken on that issue in the past, and I think that if we, as a community in America, started to go very hard on crime, I'm not just saying lock them up and throw away the key. That's not really a punishment, because the mind can adapt to many types of environments. But for these people who do heinous crimes, I was thinking we do good old slow forms of public displays to really shock the bones of people. Because this liberal approach to crime is not really working out for us. And we need to start cleaning the streets. Now, rehabilitation is possible for some, but for others it's not. And if you are a menace to society, you should be put down just like a dog who can't stop biting people, and will help return you to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for your decree. I was thinking, public hangings, they would actually be a good thing. Flogging is actually really good. I think that would be excellent, especially for people who do heinous acts in public and other bad things. I really do think that would be a deterrent. Now, liberals like Kyle Kalinske, who is a beta soy boy to crystal ball, he's a smart guy, but he's also very soft. And for people like him, he called Saudi Arabia barbaric because of their public beheadings and things like that. And I think, on the other hand, we should go old school Wild West route like what America used to have. Because if we have record numbers of fatherless boys who are growing up through social media, and we have record numbers of cold-hearted feminists who are encouraging the genocide, culling, and dismemberment of babies, we're definitely channeling a very wicked energy that's going to require a very strong-arm approach to keep in line and to win over. And one way to do that is through being more feared pushing than they are. What I mean by that. So if you're going to overcome their malice and their hatred, their strong energy for hate and evil, you have to overcome that with a strong force. So public hangings is a great way to get rid of a lot of people, and to make it cheap, fast, effective, and to allow people to watch it. I think the Colosseum was a very cool introduction. There was a time where slaves had to fight, then freemen fought, and some people were put in there against their will. And sure, there was a downside to it. You didn't want to be the one to die in the arena. But the public display of strength, the public display of violence, I think does something to the mind. If we had something like that, a Colosseum type arena where public executions were were produced, we could do a lot, I think. Women who've had 6 abortions, I think would be fitting, right? Especially the late term ones that are past 21 weeks. I think there should be a very authoritarian, totalitarian, dictatorship style, orthodox, religious force that cleans America up towards a polishing city on the hill once again. Because if you look around where liberals have been in power, where they seem to congregate and become soft, encouraging drugs, open marriages, brothel culture, things can get pretty backwards, and the pain of those born into the broken system keeps going. I really do think that we have to turn the ship around on a hard turn so that we can save those next generations who are coming after us. For example, like drug dealers. You get caught selling drugs 3 times? Execute them. Who needs them? We don't need them. And for human traffickers that get caught, we don't need them. We have to be less bleeding hearts. We really, really do. I think that Heavy Duty Country, he had a great point, and I hope more people start to wake up to these liberal soft on crime policies don't work. Now, there is something to say, like, taking people to jail too easily over petty things has to stop. True. But what I'm talking about is violent offenders. And liberals like Kyle Kulinski will say, oh, even if 1% of people who are executed on death row are innocent, that means no evil people should be executed. This is very bizarre. So he'd rather keep them alive with food, shelter, clothing, rec time. I mean, they're a waste of space. They're a waste of taxpayer money. And they make the excuse that it's expensive to keep them alive. Expensive to execute them. Make it cheap. Why should it be expensive? Getting a piece of rope, hanging them, bada bing, bada boom. Super easy. Doesn't have to be fancy. Lethal injection, none of that. Just get the job done. Get them out of here. If we have this cleanup approach, we have to shock fear into the hearts of the evil ones. Because they're not afraid. When they were doing crimes, harming children, and hurting people, the pleas of those people didn't move their heart. So, if the criminals didn't have mercy for their victims, why should we have mercy for them? We should hang them, get rid of them, throw them in the sea for sharks to feast on. They shouldn't be allowed to be buried. They don't belong anywhere in civil society. And all their property should be forfeited to the victims' families and even to the government. Who knows? Who cares? But they shouldn't have all the rights that they have. I think we have to really go hardcore, iron fist. What do you think?